Hey guys, it's Ebanie Bridges, the blonde bomber here from Australia. Look, I'm just going to do a little bit of a fight review of the amazing fight we saw last night, Persoon versus Taylor. Wow, what a cracking fight. I was shocked, but I wasn't too shocked, I suppose. Like you saw in the preview that I did before the fight and my predictions, I did think that Katie Taylor was going to quite outclass Persoon and just box her, which she did for the first couple of rounds. And I was like, okay, this is going to plan, She was frustrating Persoon. The first round was really good. She was patient, boxing, moving, using a jab, not letting Persoon come in. And it was clear, like we talked as well, on what the keys to success for Persoon was, she has to come in and she has to bully Katie, and she has to make it rough, and she has to put that pressure on and be relentless. And the first few rounds, I did see Persoon trying to do that. I was like, oh, here we go. So, it was getting dirty. She was pushing and elbows and trying to really rough Katie up. So it was all going kind of how I envisioned it and what I predicted. And then around the fourth round, Taylor started, getting drawn into Persoon's, fight again. She still did much better than last time. I mean, the first fight, she wasn't really moving at all. She wasn't moving ahead at all, nothing. But this time it seemed that Katie Taylor was, doing still lateral movement, still moving, but she still was really getting caught up in that fight. There was a bit of a controversial again with the results. A lot of people again thought Persoon won. I have to say, I thought at first, I was like, wow, like I thought that Persoon won. My straight away instant judgment was that I did think Persoon won, but I did rewatch it. And, you tend to, and I was thinking when I was rewatching it, man, these judges, like, they have to make an on-the-spot, they can't go back and rewatch this. They have to make an on-the-spot judgment of what they're seeing right in front of them. And, I mean, that is a hard job. Like, I mean, I watched this, and when I went and watched it back, I was like, okay, you know what? I see why they gave it to Katie, because as much as, I mean, I suppose when we're watching it, especially those later rounds when Persoon started getting crazy, like just chasing after, like Katie Taylor just punching, just chasing after. There was like no real form. It was just like run and chase and just throw bombs and just be relentless. And Katie Taylor on the back foot, when she's going back and she's getting away, she puts her head out. There's no defense there. She's just stepping back with her head out, and when your head's up like that, it's gonna snap back. It's looking a bit like one of those Pez dispensers. Their head snaps back. That's what Katie Taylor's head was kind of looking like at some points. So you really notice those punches. You're like, okay, and then probably not even hard punches. It's just like a jab or a soft punch when Delfine is falling into the punches, but it kind of looks like, wow, Katie's all over the place. Her head's getting snapped back. Like, it looks like Persoon's dominating. But then, you kind of, you like I said, when I rewatched it, I see all the other really clear kind of the shots that Katie was doing on the inside, like the body shots, she was doing really nice short hooks, and I feel like when you look at it, I felt like it was like, Katie Taylor was more in bursts because she was doing that in and out, like what we said, like she had to kind of come in and move. And she was doing that, not as effectively as I thought she would. I mean, Terminator Persoon, like she was like Terminator. Like seriously, I was like, she looks like a Terminator. She's just going after her like crazy, like just eating punches, like not caring, her face was all smashed up. Like, yeah, I mean, it's really hard. It would have been so hard for Katie. So I think considering she did do better, and like I said, watching back there, I do see that. I also could have seen a draw. I mean, like I could have seen a draw. But yeah, I felt like the ring generalship that Katie had was much better this time around. And as you know.
And interestingly, Persoon after the fight accepted the result, whereas last time she was a bit less sort of accepting.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of, at the end, I was a little bit shocked in that. Like I said, at first I was like, wow, there was one scorecard that that was ridiculous. It was like 98, 93 or something like that. I was just like, I don't know, like that's silly. Like that's Yeah, that's very biased, I think, because I can't see that happening. I couldn't see that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, she was very humble in defeat. You know, she felt like, I think she felt like she lost that fight. You mean, she ate a lot of punches. Like, her face was swollen. You know, she said she broke her nose in the second round. Like, I was tweeting on the second round, or I think it was maybe the second or third round. Katie got her with some really nice sharp 1-2, like really nice right hand. She's measuring really well boxing in that back foot. And I was like, oh wow, like, do you reckon she could stop this early? Because she was so crisp and so accurate. And it only lasted a couple of rounds, and then she got drawn into that fight. And you know, Katie being Katie. And that last round, man, I was like on the edge of my seat. That was literally like just no defense, just going hard at it. You know, like, I mean, it was a bit like like the last round. I did say it was a bit like Gatti Ward, but not the whole fight, but just that last round where they're just literally like, you know, or like two Mexicans just sitting and punching. Like, there's no care at all about like getting knocked out, or like they must have so much confidence that, you know, they can take it on the chin because they were just swinging. Exciting fight, another exciting fight for women's boxing.
Well, on the subject, Ebanie, on the subject of knockouts, what did you make of the knockout by Sasha Povetkin of Dillian Whyte?
Wow, well, that was shock. I think everyone, including me, was like, what just happened? What just happened? Do you know why? Because Dillian was looking amazing. You know, I mean, he was taking his time. He was establishing his jab. He established his jab over the first round, second round, third round. You know, he started getting a bit more body shots in. Fourth round, he dropped Povetkin twice. You know, and he started landing that nice right hand because he had his range. And I was like, okay, I was literally expecting the fifth round to be finished for Povetkin. Like, I was like, okay, Dillian's he's measured him up now. He's just gonna, you know, follow through that right hand or like another, you know, a hook or something. And then it was just like, I think it was like a minute in, that sneaky short left uppercut. Crazy, man. He just went down like a tree. Like, you know, it was just an epic, like a KO of the year almost. Like, you know, it was a huge shock, I think, to everyone, especially just the way he was winning the fight. You know, Povetkin wasn't looking that amazing. Of course, he was landing some, but it wasn't like, okay, wow, you know, this is close. I felt like it was all white. But, you know, again, I do watch that fight twice. I like to watch them through just because I get really emotional first time, you know, and then the second time you're chilled, you know, okay, let's watch this really good, you know. And you notice actually Povetkin was kind of setting that up a little bit. He was actually slipping to that left a lot of the fight, you know, throwing those little body shots and slipping and fading to the left, trying to cut in like that and like doing body shots, so little left hooks. And then this time it wasn't a left hook, it was a left uppercut. It was the first uppercut I think he threw. So it was kind of like, I don't know if it was on purpose and it was a plan, but I mean that's it could have, you know, drawn him into that. So and Whyte's really quite open through the middle. So big shock now. Where's Dillian Whyte stands now? I don't know. I was heartbroken for him, you know, to be honest. And I think obviously there's going to be, you know, there's a rematch clause, like as Eddie Hearn said, which I think, thank God, you know, for Dillian Whyte. But yeah, I mean, it's not good. I think, you know, Fury and AJ are going to be happy with that. You know, everyone else is happy in the heavyweight realm, I think, except obviously Dillian Whyte. But yeah, everyone else is cheering. I just, yeah, I'm looking forward to, I suppose, a rematch. And I really do hope that, you know, he gets through it, because I think it's more the heartbreak, like everything he's gone through, and now this and that KO, like. But in defeat, AJ, you know, Dillian Whyte, hats off to him, very humble in defeat. You know, as it is, it's heavyweight boxing. These things happen. It happens in boxing, but more so in heavyweight boxing, and that's why everyone loves heavyweight boxing, because it takes one punch. Doesn't matter if he's, you know, Povetkin's 40 years old. You know, we're all questioning that age. We're thinking, what's next for him? Like, was he going to retire after this fight? You know, what's happening? It just shows, you know. And I mean, we saw it with George Foreman. We saw it with Evander Holyfield, like that. You know, they're boxing these heavyweights quite, you know, later on in their life. So maybe Povetkin does have quite a few more years, because, you know, he's really powerful. You know, we know he has that strength. And in heavyweights, just takes one punch. So, yeah, exciting stuff. A lot of mix up now with what's going to happen with the heavyweights. But I suppose time will tell. And, yeah, fingers crossed for Dillian that he does get that shot, because, you know, I think he deserves it.